Welcome in. Hope everyone is doing well this morning or today. So welcome. My name is Candace from Mind Your Body Oasis, and I'll be leading you through a 60-minute gentle moving meditation today. As you can see, we will be set up against the wall, so go ahead and find yourself some space. I'll just pause for a few moments to allow you an opportunity to come closer to a wall because we will be using the wall during our practice today. So once you find yourself set up, go ahead and find that nice comfortable position, sitting down on those sit bones. Maybe you just rock side to side, remove that bottom flesh in order to just really root your sit bones down into the earth. Nice. And go ahead and stack those vertebrae one on top of the other. Maybe gently close down the eyes. Really relax the shoulders away from the ears as you extend the crown of your head. Maybe let's start with our palms facing down to just ground here for a few moments. Let's take a few cleansing breaths. Take a big inhale, really fill up the lungs. Notice the rib cage expand. Open your mouth, exhale all of the air. Nice, let's do that a few more times. Breathe in. And open your mouth. Last one, make it your deepest breath so far today. Breathe in. And exhale. Nice. Now slowly begin to start breathing in and out of the nose. Activate your yogi breath, your ujjayi breath. Create that gentle constriction in the back of your throat. You want a very slow, strong, audible whisper inside of your mouth. And as you're breathing in and out of your nose, begin to just rub your palms together. You just really want to press them together, maybe generating some warmth in between the hands. Nice. So keep doing this a few more times. And then when you're ready, go ahead and just cup your palms to your face and just breathe in your essence. Take a nice few slow, deep breaths in and out of the nose. Maybe feel the warmth of your hands against your face. And then slowly bring the hands to heart center. Let's allow the thumbs to rest at the heart. Maybe you feel a heartbeat here. Let's set an intention for the practice. What is it that brought you to your yoga mat today? What is it that you're working on in your yoga journey? If you have a specific focus that you'd like to use, feel free to do so. However, maybe you join me on our studio focus of the month, which is surrounding this practice of Ishvara Pranidhana. This is a practice of less action. It's a practice of just allowing yourself to be, of just seeing, of allowing yourself to maybe just see what unfolds in whatever moment that you're in. If this is something that resonates with you, join me. Or if you're working on something else, feel free to set that intention. Whatever that intention is, let's take a nice big breath in. Breathe the intention deep down into your heart. And softly exhale to seal it in. Nice. Now, when you're ready, I want you to slowly begin to turn your body towards the left side. And I want you to place your right hip up against the wall. We're going to find ourselves in legs up the wall. So the easiest way to get there is to scoot your sit bones really close to the wall. Start to lean your body back and swing those feet around until your sit bones are resting up against the wall. And once you get there, maybe you flex and point the toes a few times. You can roll out the ankles. Just be authentic in your movements here. And once you take in a few movements, I want you to close with your toes pointing flexed toward your nose. Really feel this opening and lengthening happening in the backs of the legs. I'm flexing my quads. I'm imagining that I'm pressing my calves up against the wall. I'm really spreading my toes, really activating the stretch here. If you'd like something a little bit less active, maybe you just allow the feet to just rest here. But I'd like to I'd like to have a more active stretch here. So I'm going to flex my quads, really spread the toes and flex them towards the nose. Maybe you go back and forth between both and just see what's most serving of you here. Take some nice, slow, deep breaths in and out of the nose. Allowing the blood flow to come back towards your heart. Beautiful. Take a few slow, deep breaths here. Now, keeping these toes really flexed towards your nose, we're going to come into our first hip opener. I want you to slowly start to allow your feet to slide open away from you. Now, we're at the beginning of practice, so just take your time, allowing your breath to take you away as you slowly breathe in and out. Maybe you notice a change or a shift in where you're feeling this most. I'm now starting to feel this on my inner thighs, inside of my legs. I'm still feeling it along the back side as well because I'm still keeping the stretch really active by flexing the toes towards the nose. Nice. I'm pressing my low back down into the earth, drawing my navel to the spine. Beautiful. Take some nice, slow, deep breaths here. And softly exhale when you're ready. Beautiful. A few more here. If you'd like to take your hands and press them on your inner thighs, just giving yourself a nice, gentle massage. Sometimes that sense of touch is really nice here in your practice. Allowing gravity to do its work. Maybe you notice that the heels are falling further and further down towards the earth. Nice. And when you're ready, let's slowly bend the knees and draw the soles of the feet together. So bringing the soles of the feet together, your knees are splayed open really wide. I like to take my palms on the inside of my knees and just press them back against the wall. Maybe you just rock the knees side to side. Continuing those nice, slow, deep inhales and exhales out of your nose. Let's take 2 more breaths here, exactly where you are. Beautiful. Now from here, I want you to begin to slide your left heel all the way up the wall. Flex those toes towards your nose, and then just gently place your right foot on top of your left knee. Let's begin by maybe just pressing that knee back towards the wall. Noticing any sensations you might be feeling on that inner thigh. Now, if this is enough stretch for you, I want you to stay exactly where you are. Otherwise, maybe you slowly start to bend your left foot, your left knee, and come into a deeper hip stretch. Now, if you notice that your sit bones are rising, maybe you just scoot that sit bone away from the wall a little bit to bend that knee. You can continue to press your right hand on the inside of your right knee, pressing that knee down back towards the wall. You can also take your fingers and interlace them on top of your left knee and use the pressure against the wall in your foot to really open up this right hip. Maybe your right elbow is pressing over into the right knee, drawing it back towards the wall. You might even find some movement here by gently rocking side to side. You know how your body is feeling. So just make sure that you're honoring whatever it's telling you. You need to back off. Go ahead and back off. And maybe you notice with each inhale and exhale how you're able to settle deeper into this space. Beautiful. Let's take a few slow breaths here. And even slower breaths out. Nice. Now we're going to come into our first twist of our practice. So just take your time. Maybe you splay those arms out to the side like a big letter T. And I want you to, with your right foot still on top of your left knee, let's start to slide your right foot all the way over to the left side. You're noticing that your left foot is still pressing against the wall until your right foot comes all the way down to the earth. And then maybe you take your gaze over your right fingertips and just breathe. Let's take our time and slowly release. Start to maybe walk your left foot back up to the center of your wall. And then let's gently release this right foot up towards the sky. You can flex and point. Shake it out. Do whatever feels good here. Nice. And then when you're ready, we'll go to the opposite side. So extend the right leg high. And then let's start by gently placing the left foot on top of the right knee. And maybe before you begin to bend that right knee, you just press on the inside of your left knee. Sit bones are pressed down against the earth, or your low back is pressing down into the earth. And then whenever you're ready, maybe start to bend your right knee, taking your time. If you like that pressure of placing your left hand on the inner thigh, you can do so. Or if you'd like to go back to interlacing fingertips in a webbing to webbing grip around the top of the right knee, and then maybe use your left elbow to press that knee open, you can. Just be nice and gentle here. Beautiful. Take a few slow, deep breaths in, and even slower breaths out. You created that gentle movement of rocking side to side the last time. Maybe you try that here. Nice. Now when you're ready, we're going to come into our twist. So slowly begin to walk this right foot down to the right side, all the way over until your left foot comes down towards the earth. And then gaze over those left fingertips. And breathe. You might notice a little tightness in your low back, your hips here. We'll come back to these before the end of practice and notice the beautiful changes happening. Nice. Let's slowly unwind. Start to walk that right foot back up towards the middle of the wall. And then release that left leg long, shaking it out. Again, doing whatever is serving you. Now from here, let's draw the soles of the feet back together. Allow the knees to open wide. And maybe just place your hands on your low belly. Press your low back into the earth. And let's pause here for 4 slow, deep breaths. You have 2 more. Your last breath here. Slowly close those knees like a book, drawing the knees to the chest. Maybe gently rocking side to side, giving that low back a nice gentle massage. And then let's roll over to the left side, coming into a fetal position. The knees are really drawn to the chest. And maybe allow that left arm to serve as a little pillow for your head. And just gently close down the eyes and check in. Notice how you're feeling. Noticing without judging. Just be. Just see. Ishvara Pranidhana. And then when you're ready, gently take your time. Let's push ourselves up and come into tabletop all fours, facing whatever direction feels good to you. And then just gently rock side to side in that tabletop all fours, rocking the hips open. Maybe finding some stillness here, really spreading finger pads wide. Let's come up and down through our cat's cow breath. So allow your belly to drop, lift your chin, spread your sit bones. Really open the front of the chest here. Then press into the mat, tuck your chin to your chest. Gaze back towards your belly for cat. Inhale, belly drops. Spread those sit bones, lift the chin for cow. Exhale, round for cat. Keep moving up and down, going through your cat's cow breath. Incorporating whatever movements feels good here for you. Take 2 more full rounds of breath. And we'll bring this movement to a close. From your tabletop all fours, we're going to come down and open up the front side of our body by coming into puppy pose. So try to keep your knees and hips in one line, so keeping hips stacked right above your knees, and maybe slowly start to walk your hands forward. Maybe you bring your forehead down to the chest if you notice that this is too deep for your shoulders. If shoulders are ready and open, then maybe you bring your chin down towards the earth. But really allow the front side of your body to open up here. And just settle in. Notice the breath maybe allowing you to soften in whatever space that you might be holding back. Take 2 more slow, deep breaths. And then when you're ready, I want you to just slide forward onto your tummy. And I want you to stack your elbows directly below your shoulders. Really spread your fingers wide. I want you to have really active yogi fingers here. And I want you to press your palms into the earth to lift your chest up. Nice. Coming into Sphinx pose. Splay those toes behind you, pointing back towards the back of your mat. Maybe imagining that you're shooting energy from your fingertips all the way down through your toes. Nice. Take 2 slow, deep breaths here. Now coming back to open up the hips, slowly rotate your right hand over towards, your left hand over towards your right elbow. You're still really pressing those elbows down into the earth to find a lift. And you're starting to take your gaze over your right shoulder. So you should really feel this on the left side of your neck. I want you to kick your right foot out to the side. Look back at your right foot and stack that right foot directly below your right knee. So we're coming into a half frog. Still pressing those elbows down into the earth. Really feeling this on the left side of the neck. Gazing back at those right toes. Nice. Take a few slow deep breaths here. And even slower breaths out. Now let's briefly, slowly unwind. I want you to start to kick your right foot behind you. And go ahead and turn your gaze back towards the front of your mat. Coming back to Sphinx pose. So I'm just going to rotate so you can see on the left side. So same thing here. Really dig those elbows down into the earth. Finger pads are spread wide. When you're ready, start to turn your gaze over your left shoulder this time. Kicking that left foot out. Flexing the toes, stacking the knee directly over the ankle. Feeling this stretch on the right side of the neck as you're still pressing those elbows and those palms down into the mat. And you're just gently allowing the hips to open here. Nice. Take a slow breath in and an even slower breath out. Beautiful. When you're ready, let's slowly release. Go ahead and kick that left foot behind you. Coming back to Sphinx pose. Let's take 3 slow rounds of breath. Two more. Last breath here. Nice. Now slowly start to walk these hands directly behind, underneath your shoulders and allow your forehead to come down to the earth. We're preparing for Cobra. Spread those finger pads really wide on the earth. I want you to draw your big toes together. Now, using your back strength, slowly begin to lift your head, peeling the head up, gazing towards the front of your mat. Maybe there's just a little bit of pressure in your fingertips as you lift. You're squeezing this low back, pressing your big toes down into the mat. Hold here for a big breath in. Exhale, slowly release and pause. When you're ready, let's breathe in and lift. Maybe putting a little bit more pressure into the palms to lift a little bit higher. Big toes are still pressing down into the earth and squeeze. And then slowly release down to the earth and pause. Let's do this one more time. Breathe in and lift. And we're just holding for 2 rounds of breath. Come up as little or as much as you'd like. Keep pressing those palms, or pressing those toes down into the earth. Squeezing your glutes, maybe your low back. And then when you're ready, slowly release down to the earth. And let's push into our first Balasana, Child's Pose. So knees are open as wide as your mat. Maybe start by sitting back on the heels, then walking the fingertips forward. Forehead coming down to the earth or your blocks, and breathe. From here, slowly pull yourself back up. Coming back to tabletop all fours. You can gently rock the hips side to side for a moment here. Now let's get our yogi fingers ready. Spread the palms really wide. Suction cup the earth so that your thumb joint is really rooted down into the mat. We're going to lift up into our first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So when you're ready, press into your palms, lift those knees up, float those hips up towards the sky, and then really press into your palms to press your chest back towards the tops of the thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need to here, and slowly begin to walk out your dog, bending one knee and the other, shaking the head yes or no. And then pause here for a slow, deep inhale. And a nice, slow exhale. Then slowly begin to look towards your thumbs and start to walk your hands forward. Walk your feet forward. Not walking hands. Walk your feet forward. Coming into a nice forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to in this forward fold. Maybe notice that your low belly and the tops of your thighs are connecting. And then maybe shift the body weight forward and back. You can shake the head yes or no. Or yes and no. You can also rotate the fingertips around the tops of the toes. Just do whatever you need to do. Notice the lengthening happening on the back of the legs. And then I want you to really root those big toes down and shift the body weight forward into the balls of the feet. Let the head and neck hang heavy. And then really begin to press your feet into the earth. Tuck your chin to your chest and slowly roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Keeping chin to chest. And then rise, lifting the chin parallel to the floor. Coming into your mountain pose Tadasana. Let's briefly roll the shoulder blades up towards the ears and gently release them down the back. Close the eyes. Take a nice big breath in. Open your mouth. 2 more. Breathe in. And exhale. Nice. 1 more. Breathe in. And let it go. Nice. Now you can keep big toes touching, a little space in between the heels. You can also keep your feet about hip width distance apart. Do what feels good for you here. Let's go ahead and stretch out the side body. So bend your knees, sweep those fingertips out to the side, then up. I want you to take your right hand and grab onto the left and start to lean the body over to the right side. Really feel this on the left side body. Notice the opening happening here, all along the left side. Take a big breath in. And a slower breath out. On your next inhale, release the fingertips back to center. And then go ahead and grab onto the left wrist, the right wrist with your left hand. Breathe in. And now let's exhale, lean over to the left side. Nice. Coming into your half moon. Opening up the right side body. Beautiful. Then let's slowly release those fingertips back to center. And then come into a nice deep forward fold. Taking your time. Beautiful. Come to your halfway lift, flat back, hands on shins. Gentle tuck of the chin. Notice what your spine is doing if you have a hump in your back. Go ahead and squeeze those shoulder blades together. Gently release to a forward fold. Halfway lift. Release to a forward fold. Let's do this one more time. Halfway lift. Release to your forward fold. Bend your knees. Start to peel your right foot up. Step it back. And then lower that knee to the earth. Walk your left toes forward, and then slowly begin to lift your chest. You can keep hands on knees, maybe bend and straighten into the leg a few times. Nice. Allow these hips to open. Keep your torso up and down. When you come into your full expression of your lunge, if you are trying to get into a deeper lunge, bend deeper into that knee and allow your right hip flexor to open. Don't bring your torso forward. Try to keep the torso up and down. Soft shoulders. And when you're ready, go ahead and come into your expression. You can keep hands at heart center at your knees. Maybe you sweep them up towards the sky. Soften the shoulders, whatever you're doing. You'd like a heart opener. Maybe you bend the elbows and lift the upper chest towards the sky. Nice. Take a big breath in and a slower breath out. Let's slowly begin to bring our fingertips down to the earth. Let's straighten the front leg, flex the toes towards your nose. You want a nice flat back here, leading with your chest and your fold. Beautiful. Feeling this all along the back of your left leg. Let's gently walk the fingertips over to the left side of the leg. So fingertips are on the left side of your mat. A little twist here. Really draw your right hip back. Your left hip is forward. So you're feeling this not only in your right hip, but also all along the left side, the back of your left leg. Nice. One more inhale. And a nice slow exhale. Settle in. Let's slowly frame your front foot. So turn back to center. And I want you to come back to your lunge. Choose your arm position. And breathe. Gently release those palms to the earth. Tuck your back toes. And then step forward to the top of your mat. Take a nice, slow, deep inhale. And a nice, slow exhale. From here, I want you to heel toe your feet all about mat width apart. We're going to come into Malasana Yogi Squat. So go ahead and start to sink your hips down. And I'll turn this way. Sink your hips down. If you need a block, maybe you sit your sit bones down on a block. But maybe you're able to bring your hands to heart center and just sink these hips down. You're sitting on your block. Go ahead and just sit and rest and try to lift the chest. And breathe here. Maybe it feels good to just rock side to side. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly make your way back to your forward fold. Maybe heel toe those feet closer together. Bending knees as much as you need to. Shaking head yes and no. Take 2 slow breaths here in your nice deep forward fold. Let's slowly come to a halfway lift, flat back. Release back to that forward fold and begin to peel your left foot up. Step it back, lower the knee, inch the right toes forward, rise when you're ready. Start wherever you did on the opposite side. Maybe hands at knees, hands at heart center. Bending and straightening into the front knee a few times, letting this left hip let you know what we're doing. Allowing hips to open, nice proud lifted chest. Beautiful. Few breaths, settle in, and then take your arm position, whatever you did on the opposite side. Fingertips floating, soft shoulders away from the ears. Maybe cactus arms. Nice. Let's slowly start to float those fingertips towards the earth. You're going to straighten the front leg, flexing toes towards the nose. Driving the chest forward. Right hip is back, left hip is forward. When you're ready, we're going to twist to the right. So start to walk the fingertips on the outside of the right leg. So the fingertips are on the right side of the mat. Right hip back, left hip forward, and breathe. Let's slowly bring the fingertips to frame the front foot. Come back forward, bending the knees, sweep arms back up to your low lunge. Your hand position here. Beautiful. Deep breaths. Begin to release your fingertips towards the earth. Tuck your back toes, step forward back to the top. You're in a nice forward fold. Start to heel toe your feet open wide. You know it. We're coming back to Malasana Yogi Squat. Sink those hips down. Sit down onto your blocks, your bolster, or just let the hips sink down. If you are hypermobile and you are not feeling this, maybe you press into your feet and lift your mula bandha, your sit bones, up a little higher to keep this a lot more active for you. I am not, so I'm going to just allow these hips to open as I sink those sit bones down. Nice. 2 more breaths here. Oh, beautiful. Then when you're ready, slowly make your way back to your forward fold. Take your time. Heel toeing those feet closer together. Come to your halfway lift. Release to your forward fold. Bend your knees, sweep those fingertips out and up. Then draw your hands through to heart center. Take a moment here. Close down the eyes. Let's take a few cleansing breaths. Breathe in. And exhale. 2 more. Breathe in. And exhale. Last one. Breathe in. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's continue to flow. Let's root to rise, arms out and up. Bow or swan dive down to the earth. Come to your halfway lift, flat back. Release to your forward fold. Shoot your right foot back. Lower the knee. Sweep arms up. Let's come into a different hand position right now. Let's come into eagle arms. So sweep your left arm underneath the right. If shoulders are tight, just cross bend your elbows and place opposite hand on opposite shoulder. But we'll start with left underneath the right. Try to press those palms together. Continue to sink down into this knee. Beautiful. Allow these hips to open. Nice. Now you're either staying here, maybe join me in a few eagle crunches. Big breath in. Exhale, curl the elbows down towards the knee. Maybe on the inside of the knee to go deeper. Inhale, rise. And then curl down. Too bad. Let's do this 2 more times. Breathe in. And curl. You've got 1 more. You're strong. Lift. This time when we curl down, let's release those fingertips on the inside of the left knee. Coming into lizard pose. So maybe you have blocks to bring the earth closer up to your hands. You're super flexible. Maybe you come down onto forearms. Maybe you start to let the left knee open and the inside of your left foot is facing your hands. Do whatever feels good here. Just send that breath to that space that might be holding you back from walking to an edge today if you're feeling like walking to an edge. And if not, that's totally fine. Remember to honor your body and listen to it. Nice. Take one more breath here. And a slower breath out. Let's slowly unwind from wherever you are. Slowly begin to bring your foot back to the earth. And then maybe frame your front foot. So walk your left foot into the middle of your mat. Let's come back to our lunge. Sweep arms up. Sink down into this lunge for one full round of breath. Then slowly release the palms to the earth. Tuck your back toes, step forward to the top of the mat. Come to a halfway lift. No malasana this time. Release to a forward fold. When you're ready, bend your knees. Start to peel this left foot back. Lower the knee. Sweep arms up. Nice. Let's prepare for eagle arms. So we're going right underneath the left, or you're just crossing out the elbows. Draw those elbows down. Feel the opening happening along the back of the shoulders. Beautiful. You're staying here, or you're joining me for crunches. Breathe in. Exhale to crunch. We have 4. Breathe in. Exhale to crunch. We have 2 more. Breathe in. And crunch. Last one. Breathe in. And release fingertips on the inside of the right foot. Coming back to lizard. So doing the same thing you did on the opposite side. Take your time. There is no rush. Coming down to forearms. Or placing hands on blocks. If you allowed your left foot to open, maybe the right foot opens this time. The bottom of the foot facing your right hands. Nice. Walk to your edge, whatever that is today. Beautiful. Let's slowly unwind. Frame the front foot. Come back to a low lunge. Palms slowly come down to the earth. Tuck your back toes. Step forward to the top. Hang here in a nice deep forward fold. Shaking it yes or no. Rocking side to side. Again, doing whatever is serving here for you. Now from here, I want you to just slowly start to bend your knees as much as you can so that you can just make your way sitting back down. Nice. And then go ahead and scooch that hip, whatever side you're on. So go ahead and scooch your hip close to the wall. And we're going to make our way back to legs up the wall. So go ahead and slide those feet around. Flexing the toes towards your nose. And let's do the same thing that we did at the beginning of practice. Maybe flex and point. Maybe roll out the ankles. And then settle in with those toes flexed towards your nose. Maybe keeping your thighs and calves really active. And just allow the breath to soften here. And settle in. Allowing the blood flow to rush back towards the heart. Nice gentle inversion here. Beautiful. When you're ready, go ahead and allow those heels to fall open wide away from each other. Maybe those toes are still really flexed towards the nose. And just pause, come to your depth. And maybe you just notice what changes have happened in your hips in this practice. Are they subtle? Are they pronounced? whatever they are, just notice. Notice without judging. Just noticing and being aware. Nice. Few slow breaths here. I like to really press my low back down into the earth, navel to spine. Now let's begin to bring the soles of the feet together. So bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, just as we did at the beginning of practice. Pressing low back into the earth. Maybe you're able to press your knees open just a little bit wider than you did before. Now we're going to come back to that figure 4. So go ahead and start to slide your left foot back up the wall. And if you had to scoot your hips away from the wall, maybe you go ahead and start there. So slowly lift your right knee, place it, right foot, place it on top of your left knee. Maybe pushing on the inside of that right knee towards the wall. And then when you're ready, start to slowly begin to bend your left knee. Noticing the quality of your breath here. Maybe you're able to just open those hips up just a little bit deeper. Maybe you have a little sway of the knees side to side. That feels good for you. Just as we started, we're going to come back to that twist. So slowly begin to inch your left toes all the way over to the left side until your right foot comes down to the earth. Coming back to that twist. Maybe taking the gaze over your right fingertips if that feels right for your neck. Where are you sending your breath? How are you best using this breath during this time? Are you allowing yourself to soften into the space that needs it the most? Let's take your time, slowly unwind from this twist. Bringing those feet back to the center. And then let's slowly release that right leg long, stretching it out, shaking it out, doing whatever you need to do to release. And then we'll come over to open up the left hip. So place that left foot on top of the right knee. You know what you're doing. Are you maybe pressing the left knee towards the wall? When you're ready, slowly bending that right knee. Noticing the difference, not only in this hip from when we started, but maybe noticing subtle differences in one hip than the other. I always notice that I'm a lot more open on the left side than the right. You have that rocking motion side to side, and that feels good. Maybe keep with it. Coming into your twist when you're ready. Taking your time to walk those right feet all the way over to the right side. And until that left foot comes all the way down to the earth. And maybe taking the gaze over to the left side. Noticing the quality of the breath. Hips are tight and your breath is harsh and raspy. Maybe you just pull back a little bit. Visualize that breath going to that space that's really tight. And just imagining that it is softening and letting go, even if it's just a little bit. We're slowly releasing this twist, walking those feet back to center, and then extending the left leg long, extending the right leg long. We're going to take our final resting pose and legs up the wall. So if you have a blanket that you'd like to grab to cover up, maybe something to cover your eyes, just do whatever is most serving here for you in these final moments of our practice. Enjoying this nice, deep inversion, or nice, gentle inversion. Slowly begin to bring gentle movements back into your body. Maybe gently rock the head side to side. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe flexing and pulling your toes while you're still in leg together. And maybe slowly draw the knees to the chest. Give them a nice juicy squeeze. Maybe your feet are still really pressed up against the wall. To press those knees to the chest. And then you find your stillness there for a moment. And slowly roll over onto whatever side is most serving for you, coming into a fetal position. Let the head rest on one arm. The knees are still really pressed up against the chest. Just pause here for a moment. And with your eyes closed, slowly find yourself in a nice seated position. Just as we started, you can rock the hips side to side, remove the bottom flesh, really root the sit bones into the earth. Stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other, sitting up tall, soft shoulders. slowly bring your hands to heart center. Let's take a few cleansing breaths. Breathe in and exhale. 2 more. Breathe in. Exhale. Last one. Take a gentle bow, bringing thumbs to your third eye chakra, the space in between your eyebrows. Bowing to yourselves, bowing to the other yogis and yoginis in our community across the world, bowing to this wonderful opportunity to share this practice together. The divine light in me honors and acknowledges the divine light in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your yoga journey and joining me. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Please feel free to provide any feedback on this or other classes from our studio. We'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mind Your Body Oasis on YouTube. Follow us on all the social media outlets. And, I said it already, leave us a review. We really love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.